We're having a sit down with the Chief Executive Officer for the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee, Marlene Gadzirayi. Obviously, we're really excited because we have 5 athletes who have so far secured their places to go to Paris later this year. I think July to August, that's the period I will see the Olympics being held. I think last edition, I stand to be corrected, but I think we only had 5 athletes. We still have room for more to qualify. We've already talked about Tapiwa Makarau in the 200 meters, Makanaka Ishe, also in the 200 meters, the latest to qualify. We've got 2 more marathon runners. That's Isaac Mpofu and Rutendo Nyahora. And then, of course, Stephen Cox in the rowing. But joining me just to talk about this road to Paris and where we stand, what our expectations are, and, what we can look forward to is the boss lady herself. Marlene, good morning. Thank you for making time from your busy Olympic preparations to come and have a sit down with us.
Thank you. Good morning, Tich.
I'm good. Obviously, there was a time, there was a lot of focus initially in the beginning around maybe trying to even get a team to qualify. Yeah. We didn't really see that happening. And then people thought, it's going to be one of those Olympics where we have 1 or 2 athletes. But I think in the last 2 or 3 weeks specifically, I think we've seen Rutendo, I've seen Makanaka Ishe, as well as the Tapiwa qualifying. As a Zimbabwe Olympic Committee, seeing that team grow from about 2 athletes to 5 in the last couple of weeks, what has been your reaction as an organizing committee for Team Zimbabwe?
First of all, it's really been exciting because for the longest time we were just talking about 2 athletes, Isaac and Stephen. But when we then got the opportunity to send names for the marathon female runner, we sent in Fortunate Chidziwo and Rutendo Nyahora, and then of course the International Federation then chooses who is closest to the Olympic qualifying time, and we're happy to have seen Rutendo getting that time. We have also, although she's not on the Olympic scholarship, we've also funded all her trips to go and try and qualify to Germany, to a number of marathons in Europe. And that's where she also got her personal best times. And, now the fruits are there. She's going to the Olympics. And the guys in the USA, they were already raring to go. They had already told us, we are going to qualify. We're going to qualify. And so looking at what, for example, Tapiwa and Makanaka were doing during the indoor season, breaking records, their own school records, we knew it. We saw that there was a chance to qualify.
So you were keeping your cards close to your chest.
We had to. We had
like
to.
These media guys, okay, we've got surprises for you.
We had to. I mean, you look at what Tapiwa did in the 200 meters. He broke a record, set a record, But obviously we can't talk about it until it's confirmed that he is qualified. And then looking at his qualifying time, 19.93 seconds, that is one of the fastest. I think at the moment he's actually in the top 4 in the world. The media is already getting a lot of attention on him because he's already looking at a podium finish. And then also Isaac Mpofu, he's also been doing well. He ran the Boston Marathon, came out 6th, That was very, very big. He's already been breaking his own record. He set the Zimbabwean record when he ran in Valencia and qualified in 2022. But at the Boston Marathon, we were very impressed because number 1 and 2 were from Ethiopia. Those guys are the long distance runners. Yeah. And then number 3, 4, 5 were from Kenya. And then he comes in from Zimbabwe. So that was really, really big for us. And to see him, doing such a big thing at the, the prestigious Boston Marathon. Stephen Cox, when he was in Australia, January to March, he was competing in the national championships. He won about 2-3 gold medals there. So it's not just, for these athletes, it's not just about them qualifying. We're already looking at podium finishes because they've really, really been putting in the work. So we're really quite excited about that.
Yeah, it sounds very exciting. But I want to come back to Rutendo Nyahora. Obviously, she's qualifying through that universality slot. Are there any other sporting codes where we were trying to see if we can get, because I remember the last Olympics, I think we had Donata in the swimming and a couple of other swimmers go to the Olympics on that slot. Which other sports outside of maybe your track and field have you guys been trying to push for us to try and get universality slots through the different athletes that we have?
For universality, we will have swimming. We will have 1 male and female. So far, they've shortlisted 4 athletes. Females, Donata Katai and Paige van der Westhuizen. And the males, there's Denilson Cyprianus and Liam Davis. So we're waiting. They will give us the 2 based on their times, based on their performances. Denilson won a gold in 200-meter backstroke at the African Games. Donata also got a bronze or silver. And Paige also was there at the African Games, as well as Liam. So they are also our top athletes, top swimmers. So we'll get the 2 names towards the close of the qualifying time for swimming.
And I'm told that Tich will be doing breakdancing at the Olympics. Because I'm told that you were saying breakdancing is now on the Olympics.
An Olympic sport.
Tich, you're in, right? You're in, yeah.
I don't know if that's what I'm
that's breakdancing.
But do you know what excites me, Andy, is as she was talking about those universality slots for swimming, it means we're already guaranteed at the very minimum seven athletes.
Yeah.
And I want to bring this in to say, I know, especially with the support that the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee comes through with, I think there were 10 Olympic scholarships that were given. Like in terms of your initial ambition on the number of athletes you wanted to take, you know, with the window still open for some to possibly qualify. I know Andy Kippers in the triathlon, she's still in with a shot.
She's still in with a shot,
I know it's just maybe a bit of a pressure situation because you like to keep your cards close to your chest, but what would be an ideal number? Can we get to 10?
We're hoping, based on the strategic plan, we needed 10. We wanted to double the number that was in Tokyo, that was 5, so we were hoping for 10 individuals and 1 team. Unfortunately, we are not having a team that is going. But at the moment, yes, we will have at least 7. We are still hoping on Andy Kippers. She's 3rd in Africa, so number 1 is South Africa, number 2 Algeria, and Andy is in with a shot. She's number 3, but she's going for 2 more championships in China. And another championship again in Asia. So we're hoping that she gets more points. She's in with a chance. But if you look at Andy Kippers, she won gold as under 23. She competes with elite women. In triathlon is usually the women in their 30s, and it's all about endurance and all. If she misses this one, she's definitely going to 2028 Los Angeles. But she's actually taken a semester off studies to focus on trying to qualify for Paris. So we're also having our fingers crossed. We're also looking at cycling. We may get Stacey Hislop. She was in Morocco recently. So it's also about point system and accumulation of points. And then we also have the African Athletics Championships. We may also get some more athletes qualifying. We also have Chengetai Mapaya, who's also doing a lot in the USA. So we're still hoping for the 10. But
you're going to get it.
We know it. No, come on, let's speak it into existence.
Let's go for 12.
Right, now obviously we have Stephen Cox. We've got Isaac Mpofu, Rutendo Nyahora. We've got Makanaka Ishe Charamba, as well as Tapio Makarao. When an athlete now, gets that guarantee that they are going to be at the Olympics for this particular edition in Paris, I know there's some who are getting support through the Olympic scholarships, but then what role do you then play as soon as you have, like, Makanaka is obviously performing on the collegiate system in the USA. When you hear he's qualified, what role does the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee then, from a Team Zimbabwe perspective, start playing and then helping him get to France?
So in terms of the journey to the Olympics, it doesn't start when someone qualifies. Like we said, these scholarships, the names were actually released in 2021, to show that you have a potential to qualify for 2024. So it's quite a long journey. When you talk to the Honorable Minister, Kirsty Coventry, she says it takes 8 to 10 years for you to be an Olympian.
She would know. She
understands that. So this has been a journey. Okay, you're going through the scholarship, your training, your endurance, your nutrition, your diet, everything. And then when you qualify, of course, on an administrative perspective, we're looking at accreditation, getting the final confirmation that your athlete has qualified. We're looking at making sure that they're sorted in terms of when they're going to travel, the coaches are going to travel with them, but also there's also the issue around training. So I'll talk about so Stephen Cox, right? He said he wanted to go to Australia for 3 months. We had to support that. He was in Australia. He's back in the UK. So he then continuously competes, but there's also need for time to rest. So the management team give us that schedule that, he's going to compete in 1, 2, 3, or 4 competitions. Isaac Mpofu as well, in terms of his journey. He managed to go to the Kazungula Marathon. That was part of his training preparations. We had to support that. He got a gold. He went to the African Games, got a bronze. He did a half marathon. He went to Boston. Again, he qualified. And then
so that is all through support from the Olympic Committee?
Yes, and then he gets time to rest. There's also need for, especially for marathon, you don't continuously run the marathons. And then the guys in the USA, they may come to the African Championships that will be held in Cameroon. They also, those ones...
When is this happening?
In June in Cameroon. So they also need to continuously train. At the same time, they've also indicated they want to go to Europe to acclimatize. So that's also part of where we also come in terms of the support. Just making sure that now that you've qualified, you don't just rest. You also need to continue either competing or either training and then we keep supporting that, making sure the accommodation is safe. They're not supposed to have any headaches around that. So we also are there to facilitate that, by the time they get to their race, everything is sorted. Their kit as well, everything is also on us as well.
I know there is some support that comes from the world governing body, the International Olympic Committee. Yes. But in terms of maybe the work that the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee does with the business community in Zimbabwe, and maybe those who might be interested in supporting, what has been the response to some of the support? Like, how many partnerships have you guys been able to get? Where do you feel the shortfalls are in terms of... Because me and Andy will come here and we'll celebrate, we'll say we're so proud, but how many people are backing that up and say, you know what, we're going to back Makanaka Ishe, we're going to back Isaac, we're going to back these guys, in addition to the support that you guys are already coming through. Because, when they get the gold medals, we're going to claim them. We're going to be like...
but we're going to get them here saying, hold them up proudly. But we need to support them, right?
Indeed. So we're very grateful. Nedbank has come on board. They have focused on Isaac. He's also part of the Nedbank Marathon team. So they came in, chipped in $10,000, made everything really much easier for Isaac, which has really been helpful for us. The International Olympic Committee definitely has given us some funds, but we also have Minerva. They've decided to put in travel insurance for the athletes. When we went to the African Games, there were a lot of issues in terms of delays, luggage getting lost and all, and they've decided, we're going to come in terms of insurance on that. We are still hoping for more. In as much as, yes, the athletes have qualified, obviously corporates will come on board, can come on board. We definitely are appreciative of that. But obviously, in the future, we want to journey with the athletes, way before qualification, way before it's just, okay, you've qualified, then, what do I do? Like I've always said, you're not invited to the Olympics, you qualify. And for you to qualify, it's always, it's a proper roadmap. You're looking at your diet, your nutrition, your medication, your mental health. All these aspects are very much needed. And we're talking about wanting to send these athletes, for example, to Europe. We want them to go to other championships. We need money for that. We need to have the athlete be as comfortable as possible. So if you look at even other countries, they may not even be training in their own country. Maybe marathon guys can go to Kenya in terms of, the altitude and climate, and because the gold medalists come from there. Stephen was in Australia competing against the best. We want to have our athletes have a feel of competing against the best. So if you look at Isaac going to Boston, they already know each other with those athletes, and by the time they go to the Olympics, he will know that this guy's pace is like this. But then if you just keep them cocooned maybe in Zim or just in the US without understanding what else happens, it's also at a disadvantage for us. So we definitely need a lot of corporate support in terms of making sure that our athletes also get a podium finish, not just qualify. We need to continue pushing and pushing. We want to stop talking about how many, we have 2, we have 5, but we also want to continue getting more medals. We still only have 8. We need more medals as a country.
You know what? I love what you said, Andy. You said, this time around, we want a journey with the athletes. And no, I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah, you are.
Breakdancing.
Oh,
my journey starts down. It starts down.
This is
my
like
pitch.
This is your chance.
Well, there's a big table, but
he's really trying to get to Paris, aren't you? But look, I tell you what, though, you guys are doing such a great job, and all the sponsors, well done. I take my hat off to the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee. Well done.
Keep up the good work. And just quickly before we let you go, in terms of the qualification window, when does it shut down?
It actually shuts down in July. It depends with the number of sporting codes. Marathon has closed, but other sporting codes are still going on. Triathlon is still going on. So it goes all the way until early July. So we're still hoping.
So you still got a chance.
No, 2028. I'm focused. Anyway, there was a good sit down there with the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee Chief Executive Officer Marlene Gadzirayi. We already have 5 athletes that have qualified for the Paris Games, 4 of them in athletics and 1 rower. We're likely to get, or are guaranteed, of 2 more slots actually when it comes to swimming. 7, which is already an improvement from last year. And like she just highlighted, the window closes in July. Marlene, thank you for coming through, and we hope this journey is not just going to end in Paris, and we can see a lot of these guys, especially the younger guys. I'm looking at Tapiwa's age, Makanaka Ishe's age. You look at even Andy, if she does qualify. Yeah. The future looks bright, and I'm excited.
Konapo, Ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.